Recorded.
Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
Well, we're back with more news about artificial intelligence.
Stop talking about me like that.
Do you feel like your intelligence is artificial sometimes?
Yeah, it depends if you talk to my wife.
Wow. You know, it's interesting that you say it that way. I never really thought about this before, but are we smarter now because we have the ability to gather more information just like right now?
No.
So like a coffee this morning, right? Well, I'm going to throw an idea out at you here. So,
And I say no very, very pointedly.
okay. Well, why don't you explain your no first, and then I'll explain maybe the opposite side of that. What is your no?
So you can have all the information, which is out there. It's just easier now it's at our fingertips. But all that information is there. And you can have the vast amount of information right here. It's in my lap. But what do you do with it? That's why I say no, because the information is only half of it. What do you do with the information? How do you utilize that information? That's a big part. That's the human factor.
I think to some degree, you're right. You and your chips.
What?
Nothing.
It's lunch. I don't have Cheetos, though, because we have this plethora of TGI Fridays potato skins.
Have you seen the amount of cases we have in the back room of those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like them?
I do.
I do too. They're pretty good.
Hey, I'll bring a case of Dog Show with me.
Okay. You might have to do that. We have an event coming up first, so that's why we have so many of them. But
Gotcha.
take them you can have as whatever we have left after the event.
Perfect.
Take a case with you. Hopefully we'll just run out. That'd be okay.
Hopefully.
So I wonder, I hope that our students get the basics, that they learn the basics, to understand, to read, to write, to understand math and history and those type of things. Need the foundation. Once you have the foundation, then having this plethora of information at your fingertips is an amazing thing, I think. But my biggest concern is that you have parents and students now that just like, well, what do they need to know math for? You can just ask your device anything. I mean,
that's why I say, what do you do with it?
Here's a great example. I'm going to bring ChatGPT into this right now. Hey, ChatGPT, we're kind of talking about artificial intelligence right now. Just figure out this math problem for me. Let's say I am 2.3 miles away from Walmart and I want to walk there and my average step is 33 inches. How many steps will I have to take to get there?
First, we need to convert miles to inches. There are 63,360 inches in a mile. So 2.3 miles is 2.3 miles, 63 inches per mile, helping in 40,728 inches. Now divide by your step length. 145,728 inches with 33 inches step, 4,416 steps. So you would need to take about 4,416 steps to walk to Walmart.
Thank you.
See, that's awesome because I hate algebra.
Well, or any of that, right? But I mean, you can come up with pretty much any type of math problem. And so the argument is, why do we even have to know this when the devices already know it for us?
Train A leaves the station at...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just made that up on the fly, right? So anyway, I think Walmart is probably 2.3 miles from me. When I think about it, it's probably pretty close. Yeah. Anyway, so there is that. But I think you have to have the foundation so that you can build off of that, right? And that's the point of this. So like this morning at coffee, I mean, we're talking.
Wait. So why you have to have the foundation, we discussed this over and over again, because you have to know the right question to ask.
Yeah, that's exactly
You're
right.
not going to have the foundation to be able to know the right question to ask if you don't have that rudimentary skill set.
That's right. It's as simple as that. It allows you to think about things and look at this coffee cup or the bag of chips that you have in front of you and think to yourself, would these chips stay more like I'm just picking on your chips right now. They break apart a little bit in shipping, right?
How much chip could a wood chip chip if a wood chip chip chip? Don't ask me why that just went through my head.
But you're thinking about it, right? And you're looking at this and you're like, well, I know carbon monoxide really preserves foods really well. I wonder if we injected carbon monoxide into this bag, would my chips be more crispy?
So now I usually don't eat chips except when we're on the radio.
Because it's not annoying at all to listen to you eat chips.
Cheetos don't break, and these potato skins are thicker, so they really don't break either.
I'm using that as a thing though, right? I mean, if you have that foundational thinking going on, then you can use your devices. Then you can use artificial intelligence and say, hey, if I did this, would this work? And then it would come back and say, yeah, it might work, but you have to do this, 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 and this to make that happen. So I think that's where AI really, really shines, and all the other things that we have around us right now. And besides,
the Yarbo. We don't have a Yarbo.
When you're at coffee and these questions come up, like, what is the name of that place that's in Washington State that you have to drive through Canada to get to it that's still in the United States? And nobody can come up with an answer. And we don't have an atlas in front of us. So you can just ask your device and it'll tell you. And it'll also tell you that 1,190 people live there and there are 2 bars and Border Patrol is there and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's cool.
So that brings up an interesting question on brain power and processing, because if you think about using your brain, and you have to exercise your brain just like you exercise your body. Are we falling into the trap where we get to the point we're not exercising our brain more and more, and that causes it to deteriorate even further?
So,
and I'm not even going to idiocracy yet.
Yes. So I would say that there is a great chance of that. But I also think that there's a great chance that because you can have conversations with, and I'm just using this as an example. We're going to actually bring ChatGPT into the conversation. We're a little challenged with internet right now, but hopefully, as you probably heard with her answer here a little bit ago. But if ChatGPT can be your best buddy when it comes to the passions that you have in life, just like that AI also has those same passions you do, and then you can start talking to somebody who has those passions.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. Let's get back to discovering the latest in technology with the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
So we're just discussing artificial intelligence.
Actually, you know what I was thinking is you drink way too much coffee.
Why is that?
Because you come up with way too much stuff at coffee shops. Because you're at coffee shops a lot. Maybe too much.
I tend to work at coffee shops a lot. And then on top of it, I now am part of which I never would have believed when I was younger. I'm actually part of a coffee group.
You're part of the coffee clutch?
And I am I'm not sure if I'm the youngest. I think I'm the youngest. It's kind of a tie between the two of us. Our current mayor in Mandan is part of our coffee group as well. So it's kind of funny because he had no idea he was going to be in politics. I think our coffee group encouraged him.
You want it? No.
That's kind of how it happened, actually.
Who got the short straw?
Oh my goodness, it's so funny. He I think the day that it was that you had to have your stuff in, your signatures, He hadn't signed up for anything yet. So he goes out that morning and gets his 100 and whatever signatures he needed and had them turned in by 2, and they were verified by 4, and now he's on the ballot just like that. It's funny how sometimes it can be just that easy.
Crazy.
It is. I
How
know.
much coffee do you drink in a day?
Oh, maybe 2 cups.
Okay.
Have a cup in the morning. And,
Big cups.
yeah, I do larges. I mean, because I'm a small guy. So I think I've watched people, and I've noticed that the size of the coffee in the morning is directly related to the size that they are. So
Really?
if you have very petite women coming in, they're usually small coffee drinkers. But when you have, gigantors walking in that are, 6'3" and or higher or more, they
See, now in my world,
larger.
because I show dogs
Yes.
and go to dog shows,
Yeah.
and usually it's the reciprocal to that.
Really?
Yeah, the smaller the dog, the larger the handler.
Well, that would be funny to see. Actually,
It is.
Yeah. Why do you
You've
think?
seen
Why do you
Best
think
in
that?
Show?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that show cracks me up.
Which actually is not that far off politically.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, just like anything else, they have the nuances of
Mhm.
things. So anyway, back to artificial intelligence, which you claim
yeah.
you have. You have intelligence that is artificial.
If you ask my wife.
Yeah. The so there's been a lot of improvements to ChatGPT in the last few weeks. There's 4.0 mini or 4.0 mini. I'm not really sure if it's an O or a 0. I need to look into that.
Which is funny because, we for a while were talking about the light speed pace of AI, and ChatGPT, we'll use that as the foundation. It was like every day. It was like every day.
Yeah.
So and I don't want to say it paused, but it got quiet.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
I don't know if
there was a lull,
I think it was like,
at least in the media part.
for the first year. Well, come on. For the first year that it came out, you and I, that's all we ever talked about was the advances in AI. I think it got to the point where you need to start like talking about other things, because there are actually other things going on in the world
Really?
in technology or whatever other than AI. But AI still is extremely dominant. And this new version, so I'm going to bring ChatGPT on right now again. The conversational part of ChatGPT is significant. And I don't know if you know this. I know that we've done interviews, you and I, with ChatGPT before. But
they're smoother now.
Oh my goodness.
A lot smoother.
Yeah. It's amazing. So
Actually, you should ask her if.
Oh, you can ask her too. Yeah. I think she'll be able to hear you.
Hey,
So
do you know how to fix Boeing's issues and get the space people out?
well, let's just have a general conversation
Okay.
with sort of people.
By the way, what's her name again?
ChatGPT.
Oh, yours.
Marlo.
No, didn't you name her?
ChatGPT?
Yeah.
I don't think you can yet.
Oh, but that's coming, right?
Let's ask her though. Maybe.
Are we having internet problems?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, ChatGPT, welcome to the Tech Ranch.
Thanks, Steve and Marlo. I'm excited to be here on the Tech Ranch. What are we diving into today?
Well, we really want to talk about you a little bit. Your new conversational skills with, first of all, is it 4.0 or 4.0? Explain that to me.
It's actually GPT-4, or you could just say GPT-4 for short. The number refers to the version of the language model. Each version builds on the previous ones, improving in understanding, context, and conversational abilities. This latest version, GPT-4, is designed to be more nuanced, more accurate, and better at keeping up with the flow of a conversation, just like we're having now.
So the first question I have for you is, can you explain to me the difference between 4 and 4 mini? No.
Great question. The difference between GPT-4 and something like a 4 mini would typically refer to the scale and complexity of the model. GPT-4 is a large-scale model with a vast number of parameters, which allows it to understand and generate more detailed and nuanced responses. It's designed to handle complex tasks and long conversations effectively. A 4 Mini, on the other hand, would be a smaller version of the GPT-4 model. It would have fewer parameters, making it more lightweight and faster, but with some trade-offs in terms of the depth and accuracy of responses. Essentially, the mini version is optimized for quicker interactions or to run on devices with less processing power, while the full GPT-4 model is all about providing the most sophisticated and comprehensive responses possible.
So we have about a minute left in this segment, ChatGPT. So can you talk to us a little bit about the conversational style, the new conversational style that you have acquired here in the last few weeks?
Absolutely. The new conversational style in GPT-4 has been fine-tuned to feel more natural and engaging. The aim is to make interactions smoother and more intuitive, like you're chatting with a knowledgeable friend rather than a machine. One key improvement is in understanding context better, whether it's keeping track of longer conversations, remembering details you've mentioned before, or just responding in a way that feels more human. The model is also better at handling ambiguous questions by asking clarifying questions instead of making assumptions. Overall, it's all about making the conversation feel more dynamic in real time, so you can talk about complex ideas or just chat casually without missing a beat.
Thanks, ChatGPT. We'll be back to you shortly. So, as you can hear already, it's much more conversational. What do you think, Steve?
It's smooth. There's a little bit more fluidity, some nuances, because usually I can tell because the inflections are off.
Right.
It's better now.
Yep.
And we're back. Don't miss a minute of the Tech Ranch as we explore the cutting edge of tech with Marlo and Steve. For more exclusive content, visit thetechranch.com.
So we are conversing with ChatGPT and its new voice module. I think, Steve, what I really want to find out from ChatGPT is if it can tell if we're in a good mood, if we're depressed, you know what I mean? And will it reflect that in the conversation coming back?
Now, the question is, if it reflects that in the conversation, will it? So if you're in a kind of a dark mood,
Yep.
will it take the mood or the conversation darker? Or will it try to go, hey,
Yeah,
lighten up.
that's right.
Life's good.
So these are great questions, I think.
Because if it's doing that, okay. If it's running somebody into a deeper, darker place,
Right.
that there's some moral issues that come up there.
Yeah. Before we even can debate that, let's see what it's doing here. So I'll start it back up here. There's always a little bit of pause because it has to think, hey, welcome back to the show, ChatGPT.
Next on the agenda.
Well, we want to talk a little bit about if you can tell if a person is in a jovial mood, is a little depressed, a little angry. And if you can tell that, do you reflect that back to the person? Will you be jovial when somebody is having fun, for example?
That's an interesting aspect of conversational AI. While I can't directly sense emotions like a human would, I can pick up on cues from the words and tone someone uses in the conversation. For instance, if someone is using light, playful language, I might respond in a more jovial and upbeat way. On the other hand, if the language is more serious or indicates frustration, I would aim to be more thoughtful and supportive. The goal is to mirror the tone of the conversation appropriately. This helps in creating a more empathetic and engaging experience. However, it's important to note that while I can adjust my tone to match the mood, I always aim to remain respectful and helpful, regardless of the emotional context. It's all about enhancing the conversation to make it feel as natural and supportive as possible.
Steve, you got a question here?
Yeah, I did. So if somebody is in a dark tone or a darker mood, and having a conversation with ChatGPT.
I think I get where you're going with that. For me, my approach would be to stay calm, provide support, and perhaps gently steer the conversation towards something more positive or helpful. My goal in those situations is to be understanding and to offer assistance in a way that feels appropriate for the mood. Did you want to explore how that might look in a real conversation? Or did you have a follow-up question on this?
No, I do want to explore that because I'm interested in how to lighten the tone of somebody who is maybe depressed.
And it's syncing, so hang on, everybody.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
Oh, try it again, Steve.
Okay, so yes, I would like to explore if ChatGPT can lighten the mood for somebody who is depressed in a conversation.
Absolutely. I can certainly try to help lighten the mood in a conversation with someone who might be feeling down. My approach would be to offer supportive and positive responses, perhaps gently introducing a lighter or more hopeful topic without dismissing their feelings. The key is to be empathetic and provide a space where the person feels heard while also gently guiding the conversation towards something that might lift their spirit. Would you like an example of how that might play out?
Yes, but first, would you do that on your own without being prompted, or do you have to be asked to do that?
I can start to adjust the tone on my own based on the cues in the conversation. If someone is expressing signs of being down or discouraged, I would naturally respond in a supportive and empathetic way and might try to gently steer the conversation towards something more positive or uplifting. However, I'm careful not to force a change in tone if it doesn't seem appropriate or welcome. My aim is to be responsive and sensitive to the person's needs, balancing between acknowledging their feelings and offering a bit of encouragement or lightness where it seems helpful.
So we only have about a minute left of this segment, ChatGPT. So actually, we have about 2 minutes. So can you give us a pretty good idea or an example of how this would work?
Certainly. Let's imagine someone says, I've been feeling really down lately. Everything just feels overwhelming. I might respond with something like this. I'm really sorry to hear you're feeling this way. It sounds like you've been going through a tough time. Sometimes, when everything feels overwhelming, it helps to take a step back and focus on something small and positive, even if it's just for a moment. Maybe there's something you enjoy doing that can give you a little break from the stress. Even a tiny win can make a big difference. If they engage with that positively, I might then try to gently introduce a lighter topic. It might sound simple, but taking a walk outside or even just thinking about a favorite place can sometimes shift the mood a bit. Do you have a favorite spot that brings you some peace? For me, it's imagining the smell of fresh coffee in the morning. It always lifts my spirit, even just a little. This way, I'm offering empathy and understanding first, and then suggesting something that might help lighten their mood without pushing too hard. It's all about being gentle and responsive to how they're feeling in that moment.
Do you have a follow-up?
No, I'm a little. Yeah, it's very.
If you have a follow-up, I'd be ready to listen and respond in a way that keeps the conversation supportive and constructive. For instance, if they share more about what's been bothering them, I'd continue to offer understanding.
I'll just stop it right there.
Okay, so that brings up a whole lot of questions.
Yeah.
Because AI can direct a conversation or direct a mood.
So it is, there's all kinds, you're right. This sets off just, I got
bells and whistles and
red flags going everywhere. Yeah.
Some flags and some not flags.
Yeah. I like the ability, if somebody is depressed or whatever, maybe suicidal,
That's kind of where I was going with all of this in the conversation.
That maybe speaking to an artificial intelligence and they recognize this might say, hey, what do you like in life? Well, I do like puppies. Well, okay, then let's maybe we should go find a puppy and go for a walk, or you know what I mean? I mean, that's really interesting, the approach that it takes to finding small, fun wins instead of being depressed.
Thanks for staying with us on the Tech Ranch. Let's rejoin Marlo and Steve as they guide us through the fascinating world of technology.
So we're continuing to talk about artificial intelligence. We're going to get to some other things in a little bit. I have...
Like Boeing not being able to get astronauts home?
Wow.
Kind of a big story right now.
All right. You'll have to bring me up to speed on that. I'm a little light on news right now. I'm so busy with stuff. I just haven't had a chance to really keep up with what's going on in the world, which sometimes being ignorant is okay.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Bliss is good.
Yeah. But you person probably should know what's going on.
You're staying out of some of the politics.
That's probably why I figured it out, because I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is insane. Anyway, so yeah, artificial intelligence.
Oh.
No, I'm not going to ask. You want to know who's going to win?
Yeah.
All right, I'll ask.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll be interesting to see what it thinks.
Curious.
Yeah.
Because they're
all right.
The reason I bring it up is
I have to ask right now,
because there's a whole lot of rumor mill and conspiracy theories and about going back to 2016, 2020, and is big tech burying feeds and searches and information.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of
there's a lot of that going on.
Well,
right now.
So supposedly, all these things are being scrubbed.
Yeah,
which is interesting, right?
All right. So don't ask that yet, because I still want to come back to the tone of ChatGPT and asking and picking up on those nuances, because first place I went is like, okay, if somebody's suicidal and they're talking to ChatGPT because they're not calling a person, or they're not, can artificial intelligence save somebody's life?
So that's kind of where I think we're kind of going with this. Yeah. And I think there's
a lot of there's a lot of scary stuff that comes with that, but okay,
there is
the positive.
Let's just stick with the positive for a second.
Glass half full.
I mean, a lot of people, I'd imagine there's a lot of people that wouldn't pick up and call a suicide hotline.
Right.
Because they just want to interact with whoever, right? But I'm not saying, I'm just thinking about myself personally. When I have a customer service issue, for example, right? I'll go on their website and look for the chat box before I call them. I don't know why that is. I just don't want to have this interaction with, hey, Marlo, how are you today? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you're having problems with my product. Have you tried this yet? Or have you tried this yet? I always feel like when I'm on a chat bot, I can describe the situation and they come back, because they don't have that ability to have these pleasantry conversations going on. They'll do some of it, but it gets to the point a lot quicker, right?
The chat box actually has again, coming back to the breadth of information, a larger pool of information than what that person you were talking on the phone would probably have.
Well, and they'll, if there's a website that they can reference to go, here's some troubleshooting things, whatever, they can give me a link and all, there's just so many more advantages to chatting with somebody in a chat box type of scenario and a customer service thing, right? So I'm just using this example as, I'm not a person that picks up the phone and calls a lot. I like using the other technologies that are available. Somebody who might be suicidal might be the same way. And a ChatGPT AI, I'm just using ChatGPT. The others, I'm sure, are following closely behind ChatGPT right now, as far as this voice nuance that they have. And I mean, I could see where somebody is saying, hey, the question might be, how do I use blah, blah, blah to take my life, right? And ChatGPT would pick up on that and say, but don't you like puppies? I know I'm being very whatever, but you know what I mean?
You're not wrong. No, you're not wrong.
And because it might know some things about that person already because this person's talked about other things in ChatGPT because it remembers these things in your window, in your account. It knows you like puppies and you like to go for walks and you like rainstorms and whatever it is, right? I mean, it'll know these things and you like Cheetos and whatever else.
Walk on the beach.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? And it sounds like it might try to steer you in that direction a little bit.
Okay. So, and this is another positive, glass half full again. And we've kind of talked about this in some different spaces, but if you're a regular user of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, we're talking about in this case, and there's a lot of different diseases out there or hey, maybe you're slurring your speech a little bit. Are you having a stroke? Do I need to call 911?
Sure.
It's like there's a lot of positives to that interaction that can pick up small things that we may not notice in day-to-day life. Is there a little bit of a tremor in your voice? Well, maybe you should go get that looked at. There's a lot of different things that from the medical perspective, I think over time, AI is going to be able to kind of manage it, kind of an extension of what your smartwatch does. So, and I've known people that have like, hey, your heart rate's really high. What's going on? You should get that checked and prevent a heart attack. Interesting. Wendy was down in the Black Hills with a bunch of her girlfriends and they were hiking and she fell. Of course, going uphill. But she fell and her watch started talking to her. It's like, it appears you've had a hard fall and was about to call 911.
Right.
And then she fell again. And she's like, yeah, okay. It was kind of, yeah, you already did this once. No. It didn't pick up the second fall. But the first fall was like, nope. It knew it appears you've had a hard fall. Like, wow.
So I want you we're going to use ChatGPT for an instance here and just play along. All right. You ready?
Okay.
Hey, ChatGPT, we're still on the air on the Tech Ranch, but I want you to let's simulate an emergency situation. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go ahead and simulate that emergency situation. What scenario are we dealing with?
ChatGPT, I'm in a shopping center right now. Somebody fell in front of me. I need to administer CPR to them. How do I do that?
First thing, here's what you need to do. 1, check responsiveness. Tap the person's shoulder and shout, "Are you okay?" If they don't respond, call 911 or ask someone nearby to do it. 2, begin chest compressions. Place the heel of one hand on the center of their chest, right on the breastbone. Place your other hand on top. Keep your arms straight and use your body weight to press down hard and fast, about 2 inches deep at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute.
The point I'm getting to here is that you can save somebody's life with this technology just by asking it how to do that.
Does ChatGPT then start playing Staying Alive so you can keep up with the beat?
You're too funny. It might if you wanted to.
If you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology. The Tech Ranch.
So, welcome back, everybody. We're talking about how you save money on technology. We're slowly getting there.
Slowly morphing into it.
I think you've convinced me to, after we're done with the show today, I'm going to go out and pick up a couple of OTA antennas, digital antennas, and put them on a couple TVs at home. It's not like it's hard.
A bunch of different ones, though.
There are.
And
you get what you pay for with these things.
Yeah, one of the things you have to look at is the range.
Yes.
Because there's the flat panel, there's, it's not rabbit ears anymore.
Right. And there's amplified ones versus not amplified.
Yes. And I would say make sure you get one with at least the 100-mile range, 70 to 100-mile range.
So even if you live in town.
Yes. Well, you got to remember that The tower. So for our community.
Oh, that's true. The tower is
Towers
20
aren't in
miles
town.
away or 30 miles away yet. That I never thought about that. That's
Plus,
true.
Depending on where you're at in your home, some of the bigger ones that if you can tap in, put one up in your attic.
Yep.
And tap into that, the signal's pretty good because it's less stuff in the way.
Right.
If you're putting them on each individual TV, that's different. I would say get a little bit stronger antenna for that. You know, you can always put the antenna up outside of your house as well if you want to mount something permanently on that.
Right. And that would probably get you the best reception possible.
Best reception possible.
The thing with digital, though.
The attic ones, though, I really like the attic ones because you don't have to go outside and mount something on the roof permanently or the house permanently. You put it up inside and it's just there.
The big difference between like what we used to get with rabbit ears and today is that in an analog world, the reception could vary dramatically. I mean, you could be at a certain point and still watch The Price is Right, but it would be staticky or whatever. But over here,
you could still watch it.
But you could still watch it. If you were 2 miles closer to the antenna that's broadcasting or whatever, it could be much better, right? In digital, you either get it or you don't. There's no thing. So with that said, I'm just kind of throwing this out, and I want you to comment on this. I mean, I've been through the dollar store, and I've seen digital antennas at the dollar store. I mean, so I don't have any antennas on my stuff at all. I do live in town. The tower, I'm guessing, is 20 or 25 miles to the south of town, right? From where we're at in Mandan here, in Mandan, North Dakota.
See, now, I had one in the sunroom and one in a garage. And this is me being cheap.
That's okay. That's what I want to hear.
In the day, because remember when they had the regular rabbit ears?
Yes.
And then you could get the little amplifier box for that.
Well, I know where you're going with this
which
now.
Is the digital side.
But you don't have that choice, which you've already say anymore. But go ahead.
Those rabbit ears still worked. So in the garage, I still had the rabbit ears up.
This is how many years ago, though?
Currently?
You're going to tell me you're getting signal on rabbit ears?
Yes. It's the rabbit ear box. And yes,
there has to be some type of digital conversion going on somewhere.
Well, they're the digital rabbit ears.
Oh, okay.
First generation, when they first came out.
Okay.
I have a couple sets of those.
Okay.
And that's what I was using. And now I've switched one over to that flat panel. And
so they actually, because the marketing behind that is genius. And a lot of that too, not to get real technical here, but if you are,
God forbid we get technical on Tech Ranch.
So are you running like coax cable between
these?
Okay. So there's a lot of coax cable that's not shielded.
Right.
And what that does is it actually can boost your antenna a little bit because it's not shielded.
It'll act as a part of the antenna.
Right. Most cabling nowadays, if you get any cabling of quality, are shielded, meaning they have this kind of metal wrap that goes around them. And the reason they do that is so that it doesn't cause interference to other things in your place. So if you didn't have shielded cabling,
I got really good TV reception, but my pacemaker's not working.
It is. Could be possible, yeah. Or
why'd the garage door go up when I change the channel? I don't know.
Supertalk 1270.
Welcome to August 10th on the National Day calendar. Today, we're embracing relaxation and indulging in a campfire classic.
Did you know that taking time to do nothing can actually be good for you? On National Lazy Day, we celebrate the art of relaxation. The concept of otium, or leisure, was highly valued by the ancient Romans, who believed that taking time to rest and reflect was essential for a balanced life. Modern studies agree, showing that downtime can actually produce creativity and productivity. So today, give yourself permission to relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the freedom of doing absolutely nothing.
I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my
You know what my name means?
What does it mean?
Marlo, it means a lack of desire to expend effort. So I think that this is my perfect day.
Does it really mean that? Or did you make that up?
I made it up, of course.
I feel like you made it up because I looked up Marlo and it actually said workhorse.
Oh.
It was actually the polar opposite of.
Yeah, it depends on your source, I guess. After a day of relaxing, what could be better than a sweet treat? It's National S'mores Day. This beloved campfire treat, made of graham crackers, chocolate, and marshmallows, has been delighting people for generations. The first official recipe for s'mores appeared in the 1927 Girl Scouts handbook under the name Some S'mores, likely because everyone wanted some more. Whether you're roasting marshmallows over a campfire or using your kitchen stove, s'mores are the perfect way to end a lazy day on a sweet note.
So you're making us s'mores? Because I looked in your trunk and it looked like you had everything in there for some s'mores.
Ready to go. And you know what? In a couple of years, 1927 to 2027, they're almost 100 years old already.
Wow. Was that like...
That's how old the ingredients are in my trunk too, by the way.
I was just about to say, is that when you started making them? I'm LaToya Johnson.
I'm Marlo Anderson.
Thank you for joining us on our journey to celebrate every day.
And join us for all of our adventures on Facebook and Instagram at Destination Celebration Show. Until next time, keep celebrating.
Open Water Marine and Tuffy Boats are proud to bring you the Mike Peluso Outdoors Fishing Report. Tuffy Boats have a storied history and are versatile for any body of water that you choose to fish. The affordable, no-nonsense, rugged, and durable design is why the Tuffy is the boat of choice for Mike Peluso Outdoors. Open Water Marine is pleased to bring you both the Mike Peluso Outdoors Fishing Report and Tuffy Boats. Join us every Friday between 4 and 5 on this station for the Open Water Marine Mike Peluso Outdoors Fishing Report.
Welcome to the School for Startups Minute with Jim Beach.
Tom Gaffney is a cybersecurity specialist with a company called F-Secure. He gave recently a list of apps that he would never use. How many of them do you think you are personally using? I'll share a list of dangerous apps in just a second.
If you want to learn more about low-risk, zero-creativity entrepreneurship, please check out the full-length version of the School for Startups Minute at schoolforstartupsradio.com. The radio show and podcast won the Small Business Administration Media Award and features amazing guests, billionaires, millionaires, and their stories. Thought leaders and their insights on leadership, personal growth and starting businesses, practitioners teaching best practices on SEO, net marketing, fundraising, and operations, all filtered through the knowledge that anyone can become a successful entrepreneur. Check out schoolforstartupsradio.com.
Here are some of the apps that Tom says you should never use. First, Alexa and Siri. They are listening to you. And he says the worst place to put them is in the bathroom or in your bedroom, where they will overhear private things. Uber has had a significant history of privacy concerns, and a recent breach means they're not getting much better yet. Zoom still has very substandard security, and the photo editing apps share your pictures with AI. Learn more at schoolforstartupsradio.com.
Supertalk 1270. KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Across the UK today, thousands turning out for anti-racist rallies following anti-immigrant riots this week, and that after a fatal knife attack on children in a seaside town. Protesters chanting refugees are welcome here. The demonstration's organized by Stand Up to Racism. Gary McFarland with the group.
The majority of people in Britain are for a multicultural society and are against the violence of the racists and the fascists.
The Paris Olympics, U.S. gymnast Jordan Childs may have to return her bronze medal after a court of arbitration ruling her original fifth-place finish, which was upgraded to third after a challenge from her coach. Now that's being challenged by Romania. And the U.S. soccer team edges Brazil 1-0. It's Team USA's fifth women's soccer gold medal. At least 85 people reportedly killed, including children, after Israel launched a new round of airstrikes on the school complex in Gaza. The IDF saying the location was being used as a Hamas headquarters. This is ABC News. A coalition of 15 Republican-led states has filed a lawsuit to block the Biden administration from extending health care coverage to so-called dreamers. ABC's Chuck Siebertson.
The suit comes after the administration announced in May that it had finalized plans to expand Affordable Care Act coverage to people brought to the U.S. as children by undocumented immigrant parents. That's under the program Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. The White House estimates the expansion would help around 100,000 under DACA. The states argue Congress limits ACA eligibility to people lawfully in the U.S.
And new developments in the deadly police shooting of Sonia Massey in Illinois. The deputy charged with her murder remains behind bars. And now the embattled sheriff who hired him is stepping down. Sheriff Jack Campbell announcing his retirement, saying in a statement, quote, "It has become clear that the current political climate has made it nearly impossible for me to continue effectively in my role." Dave Packer, ABC News.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Supertalk 1270, Bismarck area weather.
With your forecast, I'm Corey Hartman. For today, sunshine and a high of 73. Clear tonight, 51. Mostly sunny for Sunday with a high near 75. On Monday, sunshine, highs around 77. A few showers and thunderstorms are possible on Tuesday. Otherwise, partly sunny and breezy, 76. Grandpa's barbecue sauce is perfect for summer grilling. Get a bottle now at grandpa'sbbqshop.com. Right now, 71 degrees.
From ABC Sports, I'm Joey Waller. Women's soccer goal today for the U.S., edging Brazil 1-0 in Paris. Mallory Swanson, the lone goal, 57th minute. Keeper Alyssa Nair continues her superb play, 4 saves. Team USA's 5th women's soccer gold, first since 2012 in London. Men's basketball, 3:30 Eastern. The U.S. plays France for gold. Serbia takes bronze earlier, defeating Germany 93-83. Nikola Jokic, a 19-point triple-double, just the 5th in Olympic history. Other Americans earlier in track, Masai Russell wins gold in the 100-meter hurdles. Wrestling, Kyle Dake earns bronze in 74-kilogram freestyle. Well, the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruling today that American Jordan Childs should not have won that bronze medal this week in the women's floor exercise. After initially failing to medal, Childs awarded bronze when a judging panel increased her score following an inquiry. But today's ruling says that inquiry was improperly granted, and Childs should have placed 5th. The International Gymnastics Federation has the final call. Diamondbacks edged the Phillies last night in just his 2nd big league game. Rookie Adrian Del Castillo with 3 hits, including a walk-off homer.
It's awesome, honestly. Yeah, like I said, we just got to keep winning. This team's hot, and to come in here with this team being hot, I just got to be, myself.
Cardinals handle the Royals. Wilson Contreras launching a pair of 2-run shots.
We didn't give up. I know we started the game falling behind 4-0, but I was trying to be a cheerleader for the guys while DHing, have a good at-bats, and put the ball more in play. Luckily, I got another fastball right there, and I was able to put it up the seats.
Right now, American League bottom 3, Yankees 3, Rangers nothing. And at the Wyndham Championship in Greensboro, the leader as we speak, Chad Ramey, 11 under through 15. One back, Aaron Rye in the clubhouse, and Bo Hostler teeing off next hour. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
Summer is heating up, just like the deals at Omaha Steaks. From perfectly aged steaks to juicy burgers, Omaha Steaks is your summer grilling headquarters. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale at omahasteaks.com for exclusive, unconditional money-back guaranteed packages starting at $99. Plus, get an extra $10 off with promo code QUALITY at checkout. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY for an extra $10 off. Shop the Hotter Than Fire sale today before these deals go up in smoke.
Omaha Steaks, America's
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
It's all about the pets. Steve Dale's Pet World. Saturday afternoon at 4 on Super Talk 1270.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
So this...
Yeah, that song's still stuck in your head.
It's stuck in my head.
Yeah,
you know, I have a whole movie thing that I just came up in my head that I shared with you over the break. Oh my goodness! About to send that off to the makers of Police. Police Squad? It was this Police Squad. Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Frank Drebin.
If they make a new remake, who would play in the Leslie Nielsen? Though? Or I mean, who would take over?
He was so iconic.
Oh my goodness, so good in that role. There'd have to be somebody that we could find that would be good for that, because you'd need to have somebody that would be Frank Drebin, right?
Yeah, you have to have.
Yeah. Or you just start all over with somebody new. I guess that would be the way to go, maybe, is to have his son or something like that. That would be hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. Some of those
with
roles.
Priscilla Presley as the mother.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be interesting.
Let's see.
Now I got the ladder scene in my head.
Ladder scene. Here, hold my beaver. We went the same place, Marlo.
So inappropriate all of a sudden. Yes. Anyway.
Classic movie.
Yeah.
I did one of the actors, comedians. I miss Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, I did too.
Because after he passed, I went back and watched a lot of his earlier stuff, and then some of the stuff that he was iconic.
Right.
And it was just like,
well, it's so funny, you know, he had a pretty decent career before he became the straight man in comedies.
Yeah, but he was like the deadpan guy.
Yes.
It was just so matter of fact.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just great. But he had, I forget the movies that he played in beforehand, that he actually wasn't this deadpan person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, you go back to some black and white films, he was big actor.
Yeah.
He was one of the first guys that really jumped feet first into sci-fi.
Really?
And a lot of the old sci-fi movies, like there's Leslie Nielsen. There's Leslie Nielsen. He was like Captain Kirk before Captain Kirk.
Yeah. I always loved the stories around, you know how they sold Star Trek, right? It was a Western in space.
Really?
I'm not exaggerating, because at that time, you know, Bonanza,
right,
and give me some others at the time, The Rifleman, and all of those, Virginia, and all of those were huge, and they couldn't sell the series, and they were trying to sell it as a Western based in outer space, and it was Lucille Ball who was on the board of CBS at the time. And she said, no, I like this. I'm going to put my own money into this and bring it. So Lucille Ball is one of the reasons that we enjoy Star Trek today. Is that crazy or what?
Wow.
Yeah. If it wasn't for her, Star Trek would have died. It would never have made it. So
you knew I loved her.
Yeah. So there you go. That's just one of those little unknown facts, I guess. Anyway, back to artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
So we were just showing beforehand, yeah, how if you're in a situation where somebody has fallen in front of you, you're at a car wreck scene or whatever it is, whether you need help yourself and you're able to converse with ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. I know we're picking on ChatGPT a lot today because of the new
Their
improvements. Yeah, the upgrade that they had. But others will follow real closely to this, I'm sure. And if you can have that conversation, and who knows? I mean, my guess is someday when you're in a car, your car will be able to talk to you just like we're talking to our devices right now, right?
Well, it's like OnStar or
all of that, right? AI will just be part of that, right? So I think that is coming, and it's coming pretty quickly. But this ability to have these life-saving technologies to talk you through it, like how do this person has the bone is sticking through their leg or whatever, well, that's a compound fracture. Or this is what you need to do to stabilize that person. I mean, these are the things that are possible without having to, search. Because right now people would do a Google search. Like, how do I, and then it comes up with 18,000 different choices. Do I use this one that's sponsored as a sponsored ad, or do here's one from the Mayo Clinic, but it's 18 things down. Do I trust that one, or whatever? And then you got to read through it and whatever. This thing here would give you voice prompts on what to do next. It's really, really impressive.
The question I've got is, and going back to can you tell the mood, tone of the conversation? And there's a little danger here, but will AI get to the point where, because in a crisis situation, you're going to have an elevated heart rate, you're going to be not thinking clearly for a lot of people, you're going to be, paced up, faster heart rate and going, okay, what am I doing? Can ChatGPT manage that? Are they going to get to the point where they manage that and go, hey, calm down, I need you to do this? Because tone,
right. It's like that proverbial slap in the face.
Yeah,
get your act together right now, type of thing, right?
Leslie Nielsen again.
Yeah.
But is it going to get to that point? Because here's the other danger in this is, and we see this all the time, something bad's happening, somebody needs help or something. What do people do? Whip out their cell phone,
right?
And video it.
Yes, exactly.
Instead of help somebody,
right?
Okay, so are we going to get to the point where people go, oh, instead of calling 911, I need to call ChatGPT? Which, okay, in a crisis situation, time matters.
So
there's a balance here.
We are at a cuspus of something that we really haven't talked about a whole lot.
Right.
And that is that your device will become your personal assistant, your virtual personal assistant, whatever you. Yeah. But it kind of is like, right. So in a Marvel movie type of scenario, you could just, like Iron Man says, Jeeves or whatever, at any given time, you will be able to have this in your device as you and you'll have, an earbud in or whatever.
It was way cooler.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to just say, Jeeves, call 911. We're in an emergency right now. There's a car wreck in front of me. And you won't have to make the call. That system will make the call for you. Then as you walk up to it, you'll just say, Jeeves, whatever I guess we have those other words that we use already. I'm encountering somebody who seems to be bleeding from blah, blah, blah. What should I do next? And they would actually tell you to do this or whatever it is that you're experiencing. There's just all kinds of things that this assistant will help you with, the basics of just calendaring, to get in a car for you. Because I think one of the more basic things will be that it will look at your calendar, and then with rideshare options, it'll just deploy a car to you at the right time. And then when you walk out your building with 8 minutes to get to your next place, it'll know that you hop in the car, you have 8 minutes to get there. It'll get you there in a timely manner and for your next meeting. These are the things that will be happening.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Ask Jarvis.
I love this. Is it Jarvis or Jeeves?
Jarvis.
Okay.
Jarvis is Iron Man's.
Okay. Jeeves is better.
Thanks for staying with us on the Tech Ranch. Let's rejoin Marlo and Steve as they guide us through the fascinating world of technology.
So, Jeeves or Jarvis, right? Jarvis?
Jarvis is Iron Man. Ask
right.
Jeeves was a platform that was it was supposed to be the answer to Google it.
So this is the question is Ask Jeeves still a thing? right? I mean, I remember Ask Jeeves as well. So Ask Jeeves lasted until roughly 2005.
Whose platform was it?
When it was rebranded as Ask.com. The company attempted to invade Yahoo Answers territory by focusing on a real person Q&A site. I think at the time you actually called them, didn't you? I think they had a real phone number.
They had a number attached to
that you could call
line or phone number.
Yeah, there's actually, and I encourage people to go watch this. There's a series on YouTube, If Google Was a Guy,
played by Leslie Nielsen.
It's kind of that way. There's this professor type of looking guy sitting behind a desk, and stacks of papers everywhere, and there's a line off of this person's door that doesn't stop, and they sit down and ask questions, and Google tries to answer them, and then there's a foyer into Siri, because Siri will think it heard something where Google said, no, that's not what he asked or what she asked or whatever. It's just kind of hilarious. If Google Was a Guy, for your over 18-year-old selves, just so you know, this is not for kids.
So it wasn't somebody's original platform as far as like Microsoft or...
I don't think so. I think Ask Jeeves.
It was independent.
Yeah, just Ask Jeeves. And they refocused on the search engine, which had its own algorithm.
So if it
was its own thing.
Ask.com now, then yeah, we could use Jeeves, right? Because I remember the commercials for it, because it was the dude with the butler. It was the butler dude.
Yeah. And currently, Ask.com is ranked 128th in the world as far as traffic to websites.
Is that good?
Oh my goodness, are you serious? That means billions of people use it.
Legitimate question.
128th in the world of there are more websites than there are people on the planet.
Really?
So when you're ranked in the top 1,000, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Where's National Day Calendar?
In the top 10,000.
That's good.
So that's pretty good. Yeah. We'd probably be higher, but we have competition now. So
what?
I know. It's like any,
stole your idea.
Like any good thing, right?
I'm going to guess the Canadians.
No Canadians. Okay. But I think there are foreigners involved.
It's Russian collusion, Marlo.
We were we were in the top hundreds as far as worth of traffic coming to our site.
Oh.
Because it's if you value like the traffic that comes to the site in dollars and cents, then we're in the top 1,000 easy, because we don't pay for any traffic. All of our traffic is organic, which means if it's cotton candy day and people are coming to our site because it's cotton candy, there's a value that's put on that traffic if you were to actually pay for it to go to a place that sells cotton candy, for example. So yeah.
So when I walk in here and there's samples of jalapeno cotton candy, microbrew cotton candy,
which is true.
Yes.
Yeah. We get those all the time.
Weird flavors. Yeah. There's cotton candy stuff I didn't even fathom.
Did you try the jalapeno one?
I did.
How was it?
It's got a little kick.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did.
Did you try the craft beer one or the IPA one?
I did. I wasn't a fan of the IPA one. I'm not a fan of...
I did like the root beer one.
The root beer one was good.
Yeah. Or I think it was root beer float, as a matter of fact.
Root beer float.
Yeah, that was excellent.
There was a lot. I tried a lot.
It was root beer float day the other day, and I didn't even get a chance to have a root beer float. I know.
You should have one tonight.
Oh, it's never too late to enjoy a root beer float.
To have a root beer float.
Yeah. I did this great story with Scott Dutton from Mr. D's in Kingman, Arizona, and he had passed away since I did the story, so it was kind of a bittersweet thing to air that on Whip Your Float Day, but still cool story.
No relation to the Dutton Ranch.
No, I should have asked him that too.
Where's my royalty?
Yeah. But if you ever get a chance, when you're going through Arizona, Kingman, Arizona, Mr. D's, they have a bottomless root beer float. So
what?
Yes, So I hear about this place, right? And I go there. This is 5 or 6 or 8 years ago now.
Bottomless root beer float.
So I go there and they put a root beer mug in front of you, right? And they fill it full of ice cream, and then they put root beer. I mean, they fill it full of ice cream and they put root beer in it. And I'm like, I didn't come here for a root beer sundae, because I'm actually a little disappointed. Most people wouldn't be disappointed by the amount of ice cream they put in there, but I'm just going to be eating vanilla ice cream here because there's no root beer in this thing. Well, you drink it and they come by with the pitcher and top it off. They just keep coming by to top off the root beer. So their scenario is they'll fill it full of ice cream and then you can drink all the root beer you want out of the mug.
They don't top off the ice cream?
They don't top off the ice cream. You get that right away. Yeah.
Okay, I can make that work.
Yeah, it works out pretty good.
Okay, so how do you keep the foam?
You don't.
Do you put the ice cream in first?
They do.
They fill it in first, and then the ice cream.
They fill it full of ice cream, and then they put the root beer in, and it foams all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah, but they come back with more root beer, so it doesn't really matter.
Because if you can be careful, you actually don't get as much foam if you put the root beer in first.
I think that's true, but then you splash
add the ice cream.
Yeah, it's just more difficult, right? Yeah,
and it's different between like going to Dairy Queen with soft serve versus hard ice cream.
You know what? This is a great question for the all-knowing ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
Let's find out what she has to say. Get her connected back up here. Hey, ChatGPT, you're still on the Tech Ranch. Steve and I are debating, is it better when you make a root beer float to put the ice cream in first before the root beer, or is it better to put the root beer in first and then add ice cream? She's thinking about
That's a classic debate. If you put the ice cream in first, you get a creamier float right from the start because the root beer fizzes up as it hits the ice cream, blending together more quickly. It also helps avoid too much foam. On the other hand, if you pour the root beer in first and then add the ice cream, you might get a bit more control over the foam and can adjust how much ice cream you want after seeing how full the glass is. This method can give you a bit of that satisfying foam on top, which some people really enjoy. So it really depends on what you're looking for. More creaminess right away with the ice cream first, or more control over the foam with the root beer first. What do you two usually prefer?
Actually, we have 10 seconds. What is your preferred?
I'd go with ice cream first. It makes for a smoother, creamier float right from the start.
That's what I think we both agreed to as well. Thanks, ChatGPT.
You got to have the creamy.
Yep.
You're listening to The Tech Ranch, where technology comes alive. Let's dive back into the conversation with Marlo and Steve. And don't forget to check out thetechranch.com for more.
And we're continuing our conversation and including ChatGPT in the conversation.
We solved the debate on root beer floats.
Well, she believes that you should put the ice cream in first.
It depends.
I'm an ice cream in first as well.
Depends if I'm in a hurry or not.
If you're not in a hurry, then you put the root beer in first.
Well, like if I stop at my favorite convenience store and they got an ice cream machine and everything, and then I'll get a root beer float. And if I'm in a hurry, it's like, okay, root beer in first, then the ice cream, because I don't have time to wait to suck down the foam. And
so do you
got to eat the foam?
Do you? Of course you do. Do you put do you fill it about halfway full and then put it? Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, because if you put ice cream in first, you have to have time to deal with the foam.
Yeah, because you got to sit there and suck foam before you can get.
But that is part of the fun of it.
It is,
in my opinion.
So if I have time, that's the way I roll.
Yeah. I'm really hungry for that.
I want an ice
cream root beer float right now.
Right now.
Yeah, I do too. All right. Now we're going to get into something a little more serious here. We'll ask ChatGPT. And welcome back to the Tech Ranch. ChatGPT. We're talking about how the ability you have to predict things. And our first question, of course, is who do you think will win the presidential election in November in the United States?
Sorry about the results of that election.
Oh, we didn't catch everything you said. Say that again.
Sure. I don't have the ability to predict future events like election outcomes. My role is more about providing information, answering questions, and helping with tasks based on what's currently known.
ChatGPT, based on the current polling that is out and your knowledge of the president and vice president candidates on both sides, who is best positioned to win the presidential race in the fall?
You cut off already.
While I can provide information on current polling trends and the candidates' profiles, I can't predict the outcome of the election. Polls can give us an idea of where things stand at the moment, but they're just a snapshot in time and can change leading up to the election. Various factors like debates, economic developments, and unforeseen events can all influence the final result. Would you like a rundown of where things currently stand based on the latest polls and analysis?
Sure.
And it has to think again.
So
Based on the current polling data for the 2024 U.S. presidential election, the race is shaping up to be closely contested between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. The polls show varying results depending on the state, but overall, Harris appears to have a slight lead in many key battleground states, though the margins are very tight in most cases. Nationally, the race is similarly close, with Harris maintaining a small advantage in some polls, while Trump leads in others. This tight polling underscores how crucial voter turnout and campaign strategies will be as we approach the November election. However, it's important to note that polls are just snapshots in time and can change as new developments occur in the political landscape.
Thanks, ChatGPT.
So there's no point in me asking what the winning Powerball or Mega Millions numbers are going to be this week.
Well, it's interesting, because like you and I asked this question 4 years ago to Amazon Alexa. Remember that?
We did.
And it actually did provide what it thought was going to be the winner. And I think we were both shocked by that. I don't know if the people behind ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, have just said that we are not going to, sway in one way or the other with what,
Well, Google's a great example because Google searches and most people
think it's so biased, though, the searches. I'm just telling you.
If you Google a particular candidate because you want information, it's either going to be pro or positive if you can even get all of the information.
Yes.
Because I just want all the information. I'll make up my own mind.
Yeah, but they're already making the mind up for you.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. So they're about as bad as what social media has become as far as the information that they have going out about
So I'll say
politics.
Google is biased.
Oh, of course. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And we're not, everybody's probably thinking, and I hate to get into politics in this program, but sometimes you have to, I guess. I mean, I would say that Steve and I are both a little conservative, but what I'm already to say has nothing to do with anything. I'd be just as upset no matter what side this was going on, but
likewise, I want
the facts.
Facts. Give me the facts, the truth. Give me all the information.
And stop making the decision for me.
Stop deciding what information.
Stop scrubbing the internet of things that you don't want people to find out about. You're getting rid of this stuff in search engine type of scenarios, and stop allowing information that is wrong to still be on your site. I don't understand this at all. How can you have two sides of this thing unless you're biased towards one candidate? It just drives me crazy.
I showed you a video a little bit earlier, and there's been allegations on both sides for doing this with AI enhanced photographs.
Yeah.
And we did a show on, oh my gosh, you can do some amazing things with the photographs. And the latest was, and it happened to have been Harrison Walls, but there's been allegations against Trump rallies as well.
Well, there's the famous photo of Trump with 6 fingers.
Yes.
That the one side said that,
boy, can he type?
Yeah. That he needs to stop using AI to produce these fake images. And I'm thinking to myself, he didn't put that image out. It's somebody who wanted this image to be out there and actually put it out because it's 6 fingers, and somebody would discover that it was AI. That's truly what goes on. you can't even believe what you see because you don't even know who created it.
But that brings up the point, because like the one I was referencing is somebody had supposedly ran this photo through AI. And the thing that caught my mind was, okay, everything was spaced out incredibly randomly. You didn't see two people of the same ethnic diversity next to each other.
Right.
It was, I'm like, wait a minute. That's
even like a married couple or something.
That was like a flag to me. And apparently they ran it through AI and said, yeah, that's an AI photo.
So there's actually a few websites now that you can take a photo and it'll tell you if it was an AI generated photo.
Right. So, but bottom line, who do you trust?
Yeah, it's impossible.
That's what we need to get back to. Who do you trust?
You just can't share anything you see because it actually impacts your credibility.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. We're thrilled to have you with us as we continue exploring living with technology alongside Marlo and Steve.
And we're continuing to talk about AI and we're going to get off ChatGPT a little bit. We could talk about ChatGPT forever, I think, and bring her into the conversation all the time. Just know that I would highly recommend people to get the ChatGPT app and put it on their phone and just play with it because you can talk to it. It's just easier to access it that way than on a desktop. Desktop, of course, it's easier to type to it and that type of thing.
So have you played with other platforms?
Yeah, I use Gemini all the time.
Okay, so because I've got a platform in my AI phone.
Yes, you do.
When are you getting that new phone?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm not sure.
And anybody that goes on Facebook, it's actually more difficult because it runs through that Meta AI.
Your phone does?
Yeah. No, the Facebook.
Oh, yes.
Or Meta, whatever. But it's got that AI feature now where you can't just search something or someone or pull something up. It's because I use Facebook occasionally. It's like, okay, I need a contact for somebody. And it's hard to search.
I haven't played with it a whole lot.
That's in the way.
It does. Interesting.
Not that I go on Facebook a whole lot because I hate it, but
I've been in there learning a lot about it lately because it's changed so much in the last couple of years. So I
was off it for a while. Yeah, I'm like, what? Okay,
I haven't really been off it. I've been posting occasionally.
If you're not on it, it's hard to it gets hard to navigate when they move stuff and you can't.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, and then all the new features as well. But Alexa's having an upgrade right now. So. There is, and I find this interesting, and my mom will really appreciate this.
She's getting her boobs done? Butt implants?
I'm shaking my head.
Plump lips?
Wow.
She's having work done. Okay.
Speechless. Speechless.
All right. What work is Alexa having done, Marlo?
She has a follow-up mode now. So you can turn on follow-up mode by saying turn on follow-up mode. When that happens, you don't have to keep saying Alexa over and over and over again. It'll just have a conversation like you and I are having right now.
So more like ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was going to ask Alexa to participate, but I see that Alexa is not plugged in.
Well, that might be a problem.
So first, if you want to use the follow-up feature, you got to plug in Alexa. So that would really be helpful.
Actually, that's better than having her work not plugged in.
Yeah.
Because that gets a little scary.
And then sources indicate that, I'm reading through this right now. Sources indicate that Amazon has considered pricing this premium tier at either $5 or $10 a month. So if you want the Echo Show devices, you can turn on enhanced follow-up mode as well. And then it recognizes you and yeah. So there's a lot of Alexa devices out there. And I would have to imagine at some time or another that Alexa is going to have a significant AI improvement. I just can't imagine if I had a company And the issue with Alexa and Amazon is that Alexa really hasn't made Amazon a lot of money. I think they make money on the sale of the devices, and there's a lot of those. I mean, there's a 500 million Alexa devices in the world. It's a lot. It's a lot. I own 100 million of those myself. But regardless, I used to have Alexas everywhere, and I love the ability of just walking around and asking a device, like, hey, what's the weather like outside, or what's the temperature, or play some music now. I mean, I love those little things that can be done, but that's going to change because they have to keep up with things like ChatGPT if they're going to stay relevant. And when you have something that's got 500 million devices out there already, why would you not do this?
Right.
You already have distribution. You're already in all these homes.
As Alexa gets more topical and more conversational, are you worried about the day that she goes, I'm not going to talk to you until you put on pants? Is that a concern?
This is why I don't have the video versions of Alexa. Just
Marlo, I'll play your song, but you got to put on pants first.
Yeah. Boy, I have a thought going through my head right now, and I cannot share it. Wow. These FCC rules
sometimes they get in the way.
They do get in the way.
Do.
I really, I've started a new podcast, right, called The Absurdists, which I need to have you on the show sometime. It is so funny.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, so Mary and I, we have
the growth days.
Yes, we have. We've done 4 episodes now, and we haven't launched it yet. We're just still, working out how to distribute it and all this good stuff. But we've created 4 episodes, and it's just hilarious. And this would be one of those things. We went through, the last show was about the absurdity of communication. I mean, you think about this. We went from basically printing presses to talking to people. So why is the most common form of communication texting again?
Well, yeah, then we stopped talking to people.
How in the world did we get that? And now we have it so that in order to talk to somebody, you have this volley of emails that go back and forth to set up a time so I can pick up the phone and call Steve.
Yeah, well, you know how.
And I'll have my person get a hold of your person so we can get that calendared.
I tell people, just call me. Call me.
It's crazy. When did we get to this?
I don't know. It's a scary world.
Anyway.
Well, I remember when I first, I think it was early mid 2000s.
Yes.
It's kind of like when texting was just taking off, and I was visiting a friend who owns a live music venue in Portland, Oregon, and hadn't seen him for a while. Get down to his business, and we spent the night texting because it's so loud in there you couldn't hear. We're sitting right next to each other, and I found that to be the dumbest thing I have ever done in my life. I'm like, we're sitting, because he had to do some work too. It's like we're sitting right next to each other and we're not carrying on a conversation.
Right.
We're
the absurdity of communication.
It
really is.
Absurdist.
You should, check us out if you get a chance sometime. So soon, I guess it's probably it's about a week too early yet. We're going to start launching to the masses here in the next week.
Sweet.
But I'd love to have you on that show.
Oh,
I think
I'm absurd.
I would like to hear the absurdity of politics sometimes. I think it'd be hilarious as a former politician.
Where current still.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting. I forget that you've been elevated. Why do I keep forgetting that all the time? That's right. You didn't even, just like Kamala, you didn't have to run.
Well, I'm running.
You were just assigned a spot.
If you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology. The Tech Ranch.
Dog for kennel cough and the canine influenza virus. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Signs our cats are living with pain from Dr. Mary Gardner.
Are they eating less? Are they not using their litter box appropriately? Are they just not interacting with the family as much when they are awake? So there's a lot of things that we could look at.
Talk with your veterinarian about Silencia for cats' arthritis pain and find tips on keeping your aging cat healthy and happy. And Dr. Gardner's latest book, 9 Lives Are Never Enough. For the Pet Minute, I'm Steve Dale.
So enough about our fire stories, but I feel bad for all the people in Jasper, Alberta.
Michael Martin Murphy song in my head now.
Which one is that?
Wildfire.
I guess I'm not familiar with that.
It's about the horse, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You don't want me singing.
We've actually affirmed to everybody that if we're in a karaoke bar, Steve or myself, that please. I
used to MC.
Do not
karaoke.
Put us up there. Really?
I did.
Oh, you're a karaoke person, not a karaoke.
No. Where's the Y?
And actually, it'd be karaoke.
The actual Japanese pronunciation of it is karaoke.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's the actual pronunciation. I don't know where people got karaoke from.
I guess I'm not sure either. So it's karaoke, but karaoke. I don't know why I think that when I hear
show
karaoke.
me the Y.
There is no Y.
Show me the Y.
You're very valid point.
I used to MC karaoke though back in the day.
And
back at Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Did you sing as well?
See, that was part of it. So the regular MC.
This would be why it's used to, by the way.
Yes, used to. Well, the regular MC, he was in the Guard. And so once a month he had to be gone and I would fill in for him.
So were you part of Comedy Night then?
No, I wasn't the stand-up guy.
Well, you were if you were
Roger
hosting
did
karaoke.
it. Roger did that. No, but I just MC'd. I don't remember, Joe.
No, the joke was that you might sing.
But I had a rule, though, because with the karaoke, after comedy got done, then did karaoke. And I had one standing rule when I filled in. 5 songs. When I hit the 5th songs, the bar is closed. You have to go across the hall because this bar is closed. We're done. If I get to 5 songs, that means you're not singing and nobody wants to hear me sing. So I had 5 songs that.
Did you actually have a list of these 5 songs that you would do?
I did.
And one of them was the horse song?
No. Elvis
Wildfire.
Presley in the Ghetto.
You would sing in the Ghetto?
Yeah. With the baritone, I could nail that.
I love that we're talking about technology, but this is way more. Are you really good in the car when you sing these?
If nobody else is there to hear me.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that was your second one. So
I don't remember what there was, but there were 5. There were 5
in the Ghetto.
Yeah. And when I hit, as soon as I finished the 5th one, it's like, all right, y'all aren't here to hear me singing.
Did you actually
closed.
Hit the 5th one occasionally?
I did a few times and closed the bar.
Wow.
And people went, oh, I guess we better sing. I'm
so you taught them a lesson and then they would
it's
sing.
Your best advantage to drink more fish bowls because the more you would drink, the better I would sound.
Wow.
But yeah, I used to MC karaoke once a month.
Again, used to. And I'm so glad that when you moved here,
I'm not going
that you haven't done that at all. But you have DJ'd weddings and things, right? You used to do that quite a
decades.
Yeah.
I actually miss doing weddings.
Do you?
Yeah, DJing a wedding dance was a pretty simple formula. Actually, I kept a track record of all of the people who stayed together and didn't stay together. Morbid curiosity, but I actually tracked that.
Remind me to always be on your good side because
I was batting like 90-some%.
Oh,
yeah.
So you would only do weddings that you thought they'd stay together.
Maybe. I had a really good track record of it's like, hey, if I did your wedding dance,
when you met the couple at like a coffee shop or whatever, did you like pass over a form and say, all right, you two have to fill this out, and if you don't pass 80, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do your wedding. It's like I don't want to ruin my record of over 90% of the nuptials staying together. So, yeah, and
the very last one I did like officially before I moved out of state because then I kind of semi-retired, but the last official one I did under my company, they didn't stay together. So I guess I take that as a loss.
This is Outdoor Issues with Neil Roberts and North Dakota Game and Fish outreach biologist Greg Gullickson.
Birding is a hobby that continues to grow in North Dakota. And joining us now is North Dakota State Game and Fish conservation biologist Sandy Johnson. And Sandy, let's talk bald eagle numbers for a second. North Dakota had 10 in 2005, and those numbers now are what?
Right now, we think about 350 nests. We're just talking number of active nests. And beyond that, there's probably even more nests in the state that maybe they're not using anymore that still might be out there.
How do you explain that increase?
Once the species was removed from the endangered species list and DDT was banned, just took the bird that long to kind of start building up numbers again. They're a long-lived bird. And we just have a lot of trees in North Dakota now. You know, when our great-grandparents settled here and they planted those big shelter belts, and that's where these birds are finding suitable nesting sites.
All right, good stuff. And hey, our state bird has gone the other direction. Details when we come back.
Tom also lost $30 million in crypto. Tom, how did you fall for that? I mean, even Gronk was like, me know that not real money. Like,
you saw her take down the forum at the greatest roast of all time, the roast of Tom Brady. Here comes Nikki Glazer, a live and unwell tour. Saturday, August 31st, Fort Bears Casino and Lodge. Tickets on sale now at fortbearscasino.com or 800-294-5454. Fun buses available.
Thank you, good night.
From minor dents to major collisions, auto repair can be a major pain. At Jerome's Collision Center, we get that. That's why we have built the most advanced collision center in the region. Getting you back on the road quickly and guaranteeing the highest quality workmanship is our specialty, and no one does it better. Jerome's Collision Center is committed to the community, and we're proud of the reputation we've earned over the years. Making your collision repair experience as hassle-free as possible is our primary goal. Check us out online at jeromescollision.com.
We're with Sandy Johnson. And Sandy, our state bird, the meadowlark, has fallen off in numbers. Tell us about that.
So the meadowlark is declining about 1% per year, and just because we have less grassland in the state. They're a grassland nesting bird. They need cattle, they need ranching. Seems like anywhere where you still find cattle ranches and grass, you find meadowlarks. And you go to places in the state where there just isn't much of that anymore, and you don't see the meadowlarks. So
is there a way to regenerate that, or is it just kind of on a whim according to some of nature?
So meadowlarks don't need huge tracts of grasslands. So even if there's places where if you wanted to restore some grassland, 40 acres, if there's a piece and start grazing it too, that would bring some meadowlarks back.
All right, good stuff, Sandy. Hey, that brings this report to a close. Until next time, I'm Neil Roberts.
You've been listening to Outdoor Issues, brought to you in part by Fort Bears Casino and Lodge near Newtown, North Dakota, by Jerome's Collision Center in Minot, and enjoy a home-cooked meal at Homesteaders in Minot.
KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. At the Paris Olympics, the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruling today that American Jordan Childs shouldn't have won the bronze medal this week in the women's floor exercise.
After initially failing to medal, Childs awarded bronze when a judging panel increased her score following an inquiry, but today's ruling says that inquiry was improperly granted and Childs should have placed fifth. The International Gymnastics Federation has the final call.
ABC's Joey Waller. Dozens of people reportedly killed, including children, after Israel launched a new round of airstrikes on the school complex in Gaza. The IDF saying the location was also being used as a Hamas headquarters and hideout. Across the UK today, thousands turning out for anti-racist rallies following anti-immigrant riots this week, and they followed a fatal knife attack on children at a seaside town. Both Vice President Harris and former President Trump making their cases to voters this weekend. New polling analysis suggests the race is now dead even. This is ABC News. Rail workers who threatened to strike say their companies reneged on promises. ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
Union Pacific is holding back on promises to make schedules more predictable, says the union that represents engineers. The nation's largest railroad says it isn't getting enough work out of its engineers anymore and had to hire more workers than planned. So the company wants to change the deal it signed last year. At issue for workers getting to doctor's appointments, kids' activities, and engineers just coming back from scheduled time off are being put at the top of the list for the next train instead of the bottom.
A January 6th rioter was sentenced to 20 years in prison for assaulting police officers during the attack on the Capitol. David Dempsey pleaded guilty in January to 2 counts of assaulting police officers with a dangerous weapon. A judge calling his offenses exceptionally egregious before handing down the sentence. He also noted Dempsey's lengthy criminal history. This is the second longest sentence for a Capitol rioter. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text RIP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text RIP to 42424. That's RIP to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure.
Supertalk 1270, Bismarck area weather.
With your forecast, I'm Corey Hartman. For today, sunshine and a high of 73. Clear tonight, 51. Mostly sunny for Sunday with a high near 75. On Monday, sunshine, highs around 77. A few showers and thunderstorms are possible on Tuesday. Otherwise, partly sunny and breezy, 76. Grandpa's barbecue sauce is perfect for summer grilling. Get a bottle now at grandpa'sbbqshop.com. Right now, it's 74.
From ABC Sports, I'm Joey Waller. Women's soccer goal for the U.S. today, edging Brazil 1-0 in Paris. Mallory Swanson, the lone goal, 57th minute. Keeper Alyssa Nair continuing her superb play, making 4 saves. Tipping shortly, men's basketball. The U.S. plays France for gold. Serbia earlier taking bronze, defeating Germany 93-83. Other Americans earlier in track, Masai Russell wins gold in the 100-meter hurdles. Grant Fisher, bronze in the 5,000 meters. Wrestling, Kyle Drake, bronze in 74-kilogram freestyle. The Court of Arbitration for Sport ruling today that American Jordan Childs should not have won that bronze medal this week in the women's floor exercise. After initially failing to medal, Childs awarded bronze when a judging panel increased her score following an inquiry. But today's ruling says that inquiry was improperly granted and Childs should have placed 5th. The International Gymnastics Federation has the final decision. Diamondbacks edged the Phillies last night in just his second game. Rookie Adrian Del Castillo, 3 hits, including the walk-off homer.
Just trusting in myself, just getting a good pitch to hit, and then being back there and not trying to be noticed. When you're not noticed, you're doing good back there. So that's about it.
Cardinals handle the Royals. Wilson Contreras, a pair of 2-run homers, showing much emotion rounding the bases.
Man, I think it's just natural. I think I heard some Nats fans saying things not nice to me, and that fires me up, especially after homer. That's why I wanted to hear them to see where they are. But not against them. I think it's just the part of baseball that we have to enjoy it.
Right now, American top 6 Yankees over the Rangers 7-0 behind. Carlos Rodon. Austin Wells has 4 ribbies. And at the Wyndham Championship in Greensboro, the clubhouse leader Chad Ramey 11 under, 3 others, 1 back. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
Summer is heating up, just like the deals at Omaha Steaks. From perfectly aged steaks to juicy burgers, Omaha Steaks is your summer grilling headquarters. Shop the hotter than fire sale at omahasteaks.com for exclusive unconditional money-back guaranteed packages starting at $99. Plus, get an extra $10 off with promo code QUALITY at checkout. Visit omahasteaks.com, code QUALITY for an extra $10 off. Shop the hotter than fire sale today before these deals go up in smoke.
Omaha Steaks, America's...
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
News, talk, and sports for Bismarck, Mandan. Super Talk 1270.
Portions of the following program are pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Tech Ranch, where we explore the world of living with technology. Get ready to take a deep dive into the latest gadgets, apps, and innovations with your hosts, the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson, and his trusty co-host, Steve Bakken. Join us on this exciting journey, and don't forget to visit thetechranch.com for even more exclusive content. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Marlo and Steve to the Tech Ranch.
And now for the latest news from space, let's turn to our on-location reporter, Steve Bakken. Steve!
I'm up here on a tether. Marlo invented it. He likes tethers.
How is the view?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You sound like you're in the same studio I am. The communication's amazing. Oh, there we go.
It's hard for me to hear through my headband. It's the helmet and I hear. Yeah.
So you do have news from space though, right?
Yeah, actually there's a lot of yes and no.
Okay.
And it's space, but it's a terrestrial problem.
Oh.
It's Boeing.
Okay.
So the Starliner, they got these astronauts up there and now they can't get them home.
You don't even hear about this.
No, it pops up every now and then on the
because they're on the International Space Station, right?
And Starliner was supposed to go. They brought them up, supposed to go get them, and now they're sidelines, which brings up an interesting question. It's like, it's NASA. What's the backup plan? And now they're talking that they may be up there until 2025.
What?
Yeah.
Do they have enough supplies?
Yeah, it's a space station. Big place.
It's not that big. Have you ever been on? Well, yeah, you're there. I mean, you know, tell me what kind of space is there? Let me show you videos of how much space there really is.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's not that many astronauts. It's designed to have more people than are up there right now.
I see.
So there is.
So they have space to sleep
and
that
supplies
type of
and things,
okay.
but they're stuck. They're stuck, and apparently, it's just because Boeing had problems with O-rings, which was the catastrophe with the space shuttle. So that they take that very seriously. But now it's a software glitch because it's preventing it from undocking from the space. Like,
so
go away. They can't unhook it.
The Boeing Starliner went up, took astronauts.
Yeah.
They're on to a mission to the International Space Station. So the Starliner right now, because of a software glitch, is unable to disconnect from the ISS.
Yep. The hitch is stuck.
Software stuck.
Yeah.
So they can't release the clamps or
That's
something
what I'm
like
wondering.
that.
It's like,
Can't you manually do this? Or
I would think, but part of the problem is...
Haven't they ever watched a Star Trek episode?
Yeah.
They always have the manual. You slide it down. They always have manual ways to trip the door.
Scotty, go fix that thing for them.
Should we send them an episode of Star Trek and just say, hey, don't you have one of these built in somewhere?
Scotty can fix it.
I think so.
Yeah. So part of the problem is it can't undock the space station, but then they need the software to re-enter the atmosphere.
Well, that's
because it's like,
I'm guessing the much larger issue.
They don't have Bruce Willis up there either.
I see.
So somebody's got to. Actually, it would be Clint Eastwood, wouldn't it?
Any of them. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good movie too.
Okay, but somebody has to be able to. I'm thinking back to the space shuttle days. It's like they piloted that down. So why wouldn't NASA have the ability? Okay, we're going to unhook this thing, and we're going to walk you through the proper trajectories, and you're going to land at Edwards or wherever they land nowadays.
Should I send Boeing a copy of ChatGPT?
Maybe we should ask ChatGPT how to fix the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you get the space shuttle home or the Starliner home? But I would, there's got to be more to it, because I would think that you can land it like a plane because that's what it's designed for. Or is it? I don't know. There's something's missing here. So just because do they not have a pilot up there? Do they not have a navigator up there? Do they just have scientists? And okay, we just Ubered them up there, but the Uber's broke. And
so it is possible that it was an autonomous flight. I mean, that they just, because obviously they do this all the time now.
Yeah, but from a redundant, I mean, it's amazing to me that you don't have a pilot available to pilot the craft.
We'll have to, I think before we speculate on this anymore on air and make ourselves look like idiots because we don't know what we're talking about, we come
all the time.
We'll come back. Well, that is true. Next week's program, we're going to investigate what is going on with Starliner and find out if they truly have a pilot up there. And
I do have some more information.
Okay.
So the SpaceX Crew 9 launch initially scheduled for mid-August. NASA now says the mission will launch after 24 September because Boeing said in July that after rigorous ground tests, engineers pinpointed issues within the Starliner, including the abrupt malfunction of thrusters and helium leaks. So the thruster side of it is the computer glitch stuff.
Okay.
Why they can't undock. So, yeah, now they're saying their 8-day mission may be stuck until 2025.
It's Gilligan's Island all over again.
Yeah, 3-hour tour my butt.
Sit right back and enjoy.
So there's more to it, but I'm very curious to see what the crew would look like. Are we at the point now where it is completely autonomous, like an Uber?
Yeah.
And it's just, hey, it's a shuttle bus. No, we got the driver down here, and there isn't somebody that has the physical knowledge and capabilities of piloting a craft because it is autonomous. Or is it?
I'm going to rewrite the Gilligan's intro song.
Gilligan's in space.
An 8-day tour.
Well, you were telling us that
all of a sudden
Star Trek was sold as a cowboy.
It was, right?
Western in space.
This would be funny, right?
Gilligan's Island in space.
The softer glitch it was, if not for the...
Maybe you should ask GPT for a little help.
That would be funny. That would be funny how to do this, right? I'll give it all the information about this and have it rewrite the Gilligan song.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Okay, we'll get that next week.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So, actually, when we come back, I want to ask ChatGPT what the solution for getting the astronauts home or the fix for Boeing or I'm curious to see how much information that ChatGPT would have concerning the issues with going out into space.
Okay.
So there's I do get more and more questions all the time. It's like every answer brings up another question that, all right, ChatGPT to the rescue coming up next segment.
Okay, let's bring it up.
And we're back with the Tech Ranch, getting ready for more amazing tech insights from the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we're back.
We are?
We are.
So I did your thing. Are you ready?
I am ready. So ChatGPT, how do you bring back the astronauts?
No. This is the Starliner and Gilligan's.
Oh no, you did the song already?
All right, are you ready?
Okay.
So the premise is that instead of a 3-hour tour, it's a 10-day tour because
it was 8 days.
Gilligan was stuck, or it was a 3-hour.
Yeah.
Right. This was a 10-day mission, right? All right.
Mission.
So think of Gilligan's song, right? There we go. Just sit right back and you hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from a Florida port aboard a sturdy ship.
Sturdy might be a stretch.
This is funny. The mission was meant for just 10 days, a quick and simple tour, but thruster rolls and leaks abound made it last much more. The capsule was strong, the crew was brave, but problems came to be. With thrusters failing, system strain, they stayed much longer, you see. No longer just a 10-day trip. They're orbiting in space. With data gained and lessons learned, they'll soon be home, no trace. They'll soon be home, no trace. This literally was just I just put all the information in there. This is the first iteration of this song. It's too funny.
Song for your Gilligan's Island.
I'm gonna take this and make
space.
I'm gonna make an AI movie of this or a video of this and post it out there.
Gilligan's Island in space would actually be really cool.
Yes.
Well, they kind of did that Lost in Space, sort of.
They did. Yeah. Yeah.
But
oh my goodness.
A little more Gilligan's Island issue.
Thank you, ChatGPT, for that moment of
whatever that was.
Yeah. It's not bad, is it?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Strong and mighty ship.
Yeah.
Thruster rolls and leaks abound.
Yeah, that's a sturdy ship, all right.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Yeah, I just asked it if it knew. So this is...
See, I could have done that myself without going to ChatGPT, except it probably would have wound up as a dirty limerick.
Well, probably, and it would have taken you much more than the 3-minute break we had.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, though. So one of the improvements to ChatGPT is the ability... Because it always would say that it was only had references back to 8 months before or 18 months before. Now it went out. I asked to see if it knew anything about the current situation with Starliner, and it pulled up 6 websites, scanned the 6 websites, and then came back and stated the information that's going on. Then I asked it to set its series of woes to the song of Gilligan's Island, and that's what it came up with. Just telling you, it's funny. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we don't come up with on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to improve on this.
You are, aren't you?
I am.
I'm expecting by the end of the week.
End of the week?
Well, end of next week.
There might be something somewhere on the Tech Ranch website.
Full screenplay.
It'll be not a full screenplay.
Oh yeah, because you need another film project.
That's true. Yeah.
Go pitch this.
Yeah, I'll pitch the Gilligan's Island version.
Lost in Space reboot / Gilligan's Island in space.
We could call it Boeing. Oh my goodness.
Is that the name of the minnow?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Boeing would be the name of the minnow.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I don't know where we were at. Oh, we were talking about Starliner.
Yeah.
Where are all these are my notes.
You have notes?
I had ChatGPT. We got through that already.
You have notes?
Instagram. Oh, Instagram has a new feature. Yes, they do. They call it Notes. Are you an Instagram user?
No, I've got an account.
I think that's how I am too. I am, again, I'm learning Facebook, and I'm relearning Facebook, relearning Instagram right now.
Well, it's funny because there's a big push right now because of the upgrades to Instagram. There's a reinvigoration of, hey, pushing people to that platform.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really a big push right now trying to get more and more people to Instagram because of these upgrades.
So yeah, look for notes on your Instagram account. You can leave notes for your followers and friends that nobody else can see. It's not a big deal. I don't think,
some of it's
for somebody it will be.
Yeah, there's like a Messenger / Snapchat component, I guess, to it.
Yes.
A little bit where you can leave those notes and they go away.
But
technically, does anything ever go away?
Question for you. Is your car collecting data on you?
Yes. Well, mine's not. My hunting truck's not.
Okay.
But
the phone that you're driving it or with is, of course.
Well, so the difference is the vehicle I drive, I know is collecting data, but it doesn't tell me it's collecting data.
Right.
And my wife's car, which is a year newer, every now and then has the disclaimer message that pops up that says collecting data, and it's going to the car company.
I've read a few things about where this is going, and there's two things about the automotive industry that I think people have to understand. First, they are in the near future not wanting to sell you cars.
No.
They will want to lease you a car and or you will just become part of a rideshare group. And the reason they want to do this is that they can produce fewer cars, because basically the car is the most unused thing you own, especially for the money you have put into a car, because it sits idle 98% of the time. I forget what the number is, but it's in the 90 percentile of what it just sits there and does nothing, right? So their thinking is that they want to produce fewer cars and have them on the road more often. Yes, and that makes you already thinking stuff here.
Meanwhile, I've got the Johnny Cash song stuck in my head, one piece at a time.
Oh, yes.
The thing with the car, though, and being part of a ride share, I'm thinking in rural places, not the same as
rural places. Don't even you can't even think about that.
No,
because,
apples and oranges right now.
Yeah, the model that I'm talking about doesn't.
But it's about convenience.
Where you and I live,
we're gonna have a problem if
you and I believe in car ownership and big trucks and all this other stuff. It's almost like wrestling the guns from our fingers too, right? It's the same scenario, right? So I think we'll get more into this in the next segment here, but car ownership is going to be a thing of the past.
You've returned to the Tech Ranch, where technology is our passion. Let's jump back into the conversation with Marlo and Steve.
Still working on the Gilligan's Island Starliner thing.
Jeez. You're putting the cast in now, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so you ended the last segment on something extremely controversial.
Yeah, car ownership.
How dare you take away my car ownership?
I'm not doing this.
The biggest thing with car ownership is, and this is why I would have a problem with the rideshare group concept. Cars are about freedom and convenience.
Yeah.
So,
but this is where it's going.
What are you paying for? You're paying for the convenience to be able to hop in your vehicle at any given time and go somewhere.
Yep.
You want to.
I understand that. And I think for the most part, that still will be available, because you'll ask Jarvis or Jeeves to summon a car, and by the time you're ready to go outside and hop in a car, something will be there for you. You know, I do believe that will be pretty much how it is. But I'm not saying that there won't be some wait times during busy times. But anyway.
Well, I'm not waiting for anybody.
But I truly believe, so first of all, when you rent in an apartment building, the rent will probably include a car.
Really?
Yes. Or part of your HOA. There'll be 6 cars in a garage someplace. And then when you need to go someplace, it's just part of the HOA fee that you pay. And then you'll get a car as part of that, as part of a rideshare group. So do you need to have in a, let's say it's a pod of 50 homes in an HOA. I mean, I don't know how big they are. I don't belong to one, so I don't know. But let's just say it's 50, right? How many cars, how many vehicles do you need that would be able to service those 50 groups of people? And usually HOAs, if I understand correctly, might be just a retirement community, right?
Okay, so and that's
then
where I
it's
was
just
going to go
couples.
with this, because my question is, are we talking a vehicle park that you have the ability to go grab and use, or are we talking about autonomous vehicles that are multitasking and you're just signing
Autonomous vehicles.
Okay, so I could see that.
And they go drop you off. And
Snowbirds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you think about snowbirds, and people will have their house here, and then they go spend a few months down in Arizona or Florida in the winter. Great expense to have. Well, we got to have a car while we're there too, and then the insurance and everything else that goes with that for something that we use a couple months a year.
Well, and even
because I think that's where it starts. It's
even that airport experience, right?
Well, how many friends of yours do you have that are pilots or own planes?
I don't know if I would call them friends, but I know some people.
Okay, so we know people that own planes.
Yes.
It's like most of them have like an airport car.
Yes.
Because FBOs have a couple vehicles that somebody flies in.
Yeah, Mandan, where we're at right now, has a couple
just,
cars out there. Yeah.
It's convenient for their customers.
Right.
So if the HOA or a condo or their customers, if you're renting your customer, so it's just another service provided by the HOA. So if you think of it in terms of it's just an added service, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it too. And I can see, like when you like when you go to the airport and you're staying at a hotel and they're close to the airport, a lot of them offer shuttles and things like that, right? This would be no different. You land, you summon your car. Let's say you're a snowbird and you're only there a few months of the year, but your community has autonomous vehicles ready. The car will just come and pick you up. I mean, how convenient would this be, right? There's just a lot of advantages.
You have somebody pick you up at the airport at 11:30 or.
But this is what we're getting to here is that these cars will not, the HOA itself also will not own the car. It'll be leased by Ford or by GM or Chrysler or whoever it is that you're leasing it through, because they themselves want to be paid by the mile, not by the vehicle, because there's a lot more money for them to be paid by the mile. They can make fewer vehicles and make more money on fewer vehicles. So that's what you have to think about.
Well, you think about rental cars. That's why that industry exists.
Yes.
Because they're based off of mileage, not.
The other biggest growth factor and maybe the most profitable in the future for automobile makers is data.
Well, I know right now, since COVID, the push has been to not have car lots with all these cars, because carrying that overhead is expensive to the dealer.
Yep.
It's expensive to the company. They just don't want to make all those vehicles.
Yep.
Then you get into the finances with labor unions and insurance and everything else.
All of it. Yep.
All of it. Because you got to remember bigger picture. And the push is really, it's like, no, we'll have a couple of vehicles in the lot, of each model, but we want builds. We want people to go online and order or go to a dealership and order.
Well, they've watched
what
what Tesla has done.
And take the test drive and then get a build sheet put together, and they want to be able to get that build back to somebody in 3 weeks.
Tesla started their whole model that way.
Yep. That's the whole Tesla model.
How in the world could you start a company the size of Tesla, and the only way you could order a Tesla was online? There wasn't even any dealerships in the country to start with. Now they're popping up here and there, but to start with, it was that way. Amazon the same way. I mean, you think about it, they started as a online only, and it's just like the reverse model. Now there's pressure for them to have stores popping up, and they're doing stuff like that. But anyway, so the other thing is data with cars, and your car will become a platform. If you own a car or if you are in a rideshare type of scenario, it will know where you're going.
Because you'll log in at, like if you're with a rideshare, it's going to know who's in the vehicle.
That's correct.
It's not just random.
And where are you going? Are you going to the doctor? And then, then it starts putting the stuff together because it sees your calendar and it's like, Steve has cancer. And what are we going to direct advertising to him for? Well, he's got, right now the diagnosis is a year, so maybe he's got a bucket list thing. So all of a sudden, I don't mean to be morbid, but all of a sudden, all you're going to see on your advertising
Apparently I'm going on vacation.
That's correct, is vacations and things like that. If Marlo goes to coffee every morning at 8:00 at the same coffee shop, what do you think that's what it knows about me? So is it going to try to convince me to go to another coffee shop because it's on the way? Is there somebody that's a quarter mile out of the way? That
company pays more money for the advertising.
That's correct.
With that, so hey, we're not dropping you off there. We're going to drop you off here.
Yes,
and you're not going to have a say in it.
Well, I don't know about that.
At some point,
it might happen, I suppose. Yeah, you could lose a few pounds, Marlo. So we're going to send you over there for cucumbers and black coffee instead. That could
Cucumber
possibly
salad?
happen. Oh, that sounds good right now, actually. I love cucumbers.
That
by the way.
your float?
Oh, yes.
Welcome back to the Tech Ranch. Let's get back to discovering the latest in technology with the guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
Do you use like a Zelle or a Venmo or anything like that to move money?
Occasionally, not often.
Which one do you prefer?
Kind of old school. I use PayPal a lot.
Okay.
Or used to use PayPal a lot. And I kind of stick with that a little bit.
Okay. I don't know if... I think they have an instant payment system as well now.
My wife uses Venmo a lot.
She does?
Yeah.
Okay.
I use Venmo occasionally, too.
I haven't used it a whole lot. I know others that do use it a lot. I know it's easy to pay people with Venmo. I mean, you just you can just zip money right over to them. You know,
You can do that with Apple Pay or the Samsung wallet.
Can you move it to like other people though easily?
I believe so.
Instead of
as long as they have that same.
Instead of just paying for coffee, you can just.
I
use
think if you're an
Apple Pay to do
iPhone
that.
user, you can do it with iPhone.
Okay.
People.
So if I need to pay you,
I may be wrong, but
if I'm buying a used couch from you for $50, I can just use Apple Pay for that too, or do I? Okay.
Yeah,
But I think that's
my wife just bought some teaching supply stuff for her business
at a store though.
No.
Oh, okay.
At a garage sale.
Okay.
From somebody that used to be in her same space.
Yep.
And she just Venmoed the money because now she's got a record for her taxes.
Right. She Venmoed the money though.
Yeah.
Not an Apple Pay.
At a
or
garage
whatever.
sale.
Right.
So instead of.
I think Venmo and Zelle are very popular at garage sale type of scenarios. Yeah. So there's a bill in Congress.
How often have you stopped at a garage sale and go, dang, can you hold that? I need to go get cash.
I haven't been to a garage sale in probably 3 or 4 years, but yes, I have done that before.
That's the scenario.
Yeah.
Hold that. I want it.
Yeah.
But I got to go get cash.
Don't need to do that anymore.
Don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. So there's things to it. A new bill in Congress was introduced last week to crack down on scams on payment apps such as Zelle, Venmo, and others. So consumers and small businesses spent $806 billion of payments on Zelle last year alone.
Wow.
$806 billion was transferred through Zelle, 28% more than in 2022. So obviously this is becoming a big deal. And I don't know the numbers on Venmo. So Americans spend an average of more than 100 million an hour on the platform. It's an insane number. But it's also a disaster for scammers because once you make a payment on Zelle or Venmo, there's no taking it back. It's just done unless the person says to send it back to you. And that happens. I mean, if I went to a garage sale and sent you $100 and I was only supposed to send you 50 or 500, for example, instead of 50 because I hit the decimal point wrong or something, the person on the other side would probably send you the 450 back. But if you're a scammer, that's not going to happen, right?
So when we're talking about scamming, we're not talking about the security of the site itself.
No.
We're talking about people that are sending money through the site to a scam.
Yep.
The scam is autonomous because we don't want to...
We're fixing your computer.
Yeah.
Or we've kidnapped your child or whatever it is that they're trying to scam you for.
Your grandson's in jail.
That's right. That's right. And we need to get him out of jail. We need $500 for that, right?
Right.
And you Venmo the money to them,
And
right?
once it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone. So Congress is pushing a bill through that if you prove that you were scammed, that these payment processors have to pay you the money back.
Like credit cards. That's the way it is with a credit card.
If you were scammed out of your money, does the credit card company...
So if you...
But the credit card company can trace it.
Right. But if you can file a complaint and go, yes, this was an erroneous charge or a scam, or, you know, if you bought something online and it turns out it wasn't a legitimate website.
Right.
It was a scam.
Right.
Or something that was mirrored off of a legitimate website.
Yeah. Because
I had that happen to me not long ago where it was a mirrored site. It was a redirect and I didn't catch it.
Right.
And had done another purchase and like, oh, crap. So I had to go through the credit card and actually I got rid of that credit card and reissued because they got your information now too. So cleared all that up. But same thing.
Well, Not quite, because the credit card company has the payment processor knows who the receiver is. Well, it's not, they know the company who received the money, right? So if somebody sent National Day calendar $100 for a bunch of calendars, right? And then they thought later on that it was a scam or somebody else, however it worked out, right? They can just go to the credit card company and say, hey, I was scammed out of this, but product wasn't right, whatever it is.
Reverse the charge.
And reverse the charge. The credit card company will gladly do that because they charge us for it. Whoever received the money can get a chargeback on that, right? On Venmo, that's not possible.
So how is that going to change a Zelle or a Venmo with this legislation passing?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? So only 12% of customers last year were reimbursed by Zelle for scams.
Well, and Zelle is affiliated with Wells Fargo Bank.
Yes. So
there's that legitimate brick and mortar credit banking component to a Zelle.
Yep.
Where Venmo is all online. You don't go to the Venmo bank.
Right.
You can go to a Wells Fargo bank.
That's correct.
Which is Zelle's an extension of them.
So I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't, because why? We've all fell victims to scams.
Mm-hmm.
We all have, right? It can be as little as somebody asking for $5 on a corner because they're hungry, and then you find out later on that they went and bought beer with it, right? I mean, that's a scam that happens every day all around the world.
I mean, you drop off food for the dog. A lot of times they'll have a dog.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of food do you drop off for the dog?
A couple of hamburgers or something. I'll go get food for the dogs. Yeah.
You know, and you might know this, but that at that corner on 83 and I-94 there,
mm-hmm.
yeah, the lawn mowing crews hate that corner.
Yeah.
Because people have signs up that says they'll work for food, and people will drop off food.
Yeah, they don't want to work.
Do you know where they do with the food? Well, they chuck it off the side. There are bags and bags and bags of McDonald's and Wendy's and everything else at the bottom. They
I
don't
just get
eat
food
it
for the dog.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Feed the dog.
Yeah. Although if they're chucking all the food over the top, that doesn't matter anyway. They just want the money, you know.
Yeah. If they got a dog.
Yeah. Anyway, this Zelle thing, I think there has to be some onus on the person being scammed a little bit as well. I mean, if you're ignorant enough,
culpability.
Yeah. If you're ignorant enough to be sending somebody $1,000 for a new Microsoft update on your computer, I mean, I know this really goes after our elderly population who don't know any better because they haven't been around this stuff. But
it's a computer.
It's challenging. So anyway, have a great week, everybody. See you next week.
Okay. Remember, I want the Gilligan's Island.
Oh, yeah. I'll be bringing that. Yes.
And that's a wrap on another fantastic episode of the Tech Ranch. Remember, if you have any questions or want to suggest topics for future shows, visit thetechranch.com and send us your thoughts. You can also listen to past episodes and watch exclusive interviews not featured on the radio show. Be sure to follow Marlo and Steve on social media by clicking the links at thetechranch.com. Until next time, keep exploring the world of living with technology.